Hey there, and welcome to The Explainer. You know that feeling when you're petting a dog and you get to those super soft, floppy ears? I mean, what is it about them? We just can't get enough, right? Well, today we're going to unpack the science, the history, and just the pure charm behind one of the most adorable traits in the entire animal kingdom. So, have you ever actually stopped and thought about it? Like, why are your dog's ears so soft and floppy when their ancestor, the wolf, has those super sharp, pointy ears? It's a great question, and that's exactly what we're diving into. We're going to follow the genetic breadcrumbs, meet some of the most famous floppy-eared breeds out there, and hey, we'll even get into the nitty-gritty of how to keep those ears healthy. All right, let's kick things off with the science of the flop. You might think those adorable ears are just a random, cute little feature, but nope. It's actually this incredible story written right into their DNA, a story that goes all the way back to the very first moments humans and dogs became friends. So, it all boils down to this really cool idea called domestication syndrome. Now, here's the kicker. Our ancestors weren't trying to breed dogs with floppy ears, not at all. They were just picking the friendliest, calmest animals to hang around with. But it turns out, when you select for friendliness, other traits kind of come along for the ride. It's like a genetic package deal. Things like floppy ears and spotted fur just appeared. And we know this for sure because of this famous Russian fox experiment, where they bred foxes only for tameness. And guess what? In just a handful of generations, they started getting floppy ears. Okay, so you're probably wondering, what's the connection between a friendly personality and floppy ears? Well, the answer is these tiny little biological superheroes called neural crust cells. Seriously, think of them as the master builders inside a developing puppy. They're stem cells that are responsible for creating all sorts of things. From the adrenal glands, the things that control the whole fight or flight response, all the way to the cartilage that makes up their ears. So let's connect the dots here. It's actually a pretty amazing journey from wolf to woof. Your typical wild wolf, right? It needs those sharp, pointy, alert ears for hunting and survival. But as early humans started picking the calmer, friendlier wolves, we were, without even knowing it, selecting for animals with less intense neural crust cell activity. This had two big effects. First, smaller adrenal glands, which made them less fearful. And second, you guessed it, softer ear cartilage that just didn't have the stiffness to stand up. And just like that, voila, the floppy ear was born. And get this, scientists have actually found the genetic recipe for it. They've pinpointed a specific spot in the DNA, right near a gene called MSRB3. The best way to think about it is like a volume dial for ear growth. So one setting on the dial gives you those classic, simple drop ears. But you crank that dial way up, that's when you get the incredible, extra-long, velvety ears of a basset hound or a cocker spaniel. It's literally all written in their code. All right, so we've totally geeked out on the how. Now let's get to the who. It is time for a floppy-eared gallery celebrating all the amazing breeds that are famous for their droopy ears. First up, let's hear it for the long-eared league. I mean, these guys are the icons, the rock stars of floppy ears. You've got the super elegant, feathery ears of the setters and spaniels, and then you have the powerful, ground-sweeping ears of basset hounds and bloodhounds. For these breeds, that dramatic droop is their signature look. But hey, floppy doesn't always mean super long. Let's talk about the short and sweet squad. These breeds have more subtle, but honestly just as charming drop ears. We're talking about some terriers, pugs, even Australian shepherds, and, of course, the fan favorite Labrador retriever. It just goes to show you, this adorable trait really does come in all shapes and sizes. And you know what's really cool? For a lot of these breeds, those ears aren't just for looking cute, they're for work. Seriously. Take a scent hound like a beagle. Those long ears are basically high-tech scent scooping tools. As the beagle runs, its ears literally sweep smells up from the ground and funnel them right to its nose. How brilliant is that? Okay, you knew this was coming. With great cuteness comes great responsibility, right? The thing about those wonderful floppy ears is that they create this warm, dark, moist environment, which, unfortunately, is the perfect place for trouble to brew. So they definitely need a little extra TLC from us to stay healthy and happy. So if you have a floppy-eared dog, this is absolutely crucial stuff to know. Let's do a quick check. A healthy ear, it's going to be clean, pink, and have no real odor. But an infected one, you're going to see redness and swelling. You might notice a nasty, yeasty smell, and you'll definitely see your dog shaking its head a lot or scratching in its ears. And if you see any brown or yellowish discharge, that's a huge red flag that an infection is probably starting. So, how do you clean those ears safely? It's actually pretty easy. First, you gently lift up the ear flap. Then, you put in some vet approved cleaning solution. Next comes the fun part, massage the base of the ear. You should hear a little squish squish sound. After that, stand back, because they're going to shake it all out. Then just take a cotton ball and wipe the inner flap. And the most important step of all, finish with a ton of treats and praise. You got to make it a good experience for them. All right, we're heading into the home stretch. It's time for some ears to the future talk, which means debunking some myths and looking ahead. Okay, let's do some rapid fire myth busting. Pow! Myth number 1, floppy ears mean bad hearing. Fact? Nope. They just locate sound a little differently. Myth number 2, a dog's ears clean themselves. Fact? Oh, absolutely not. That's a dangerous one. They trap moisture and 100% need our help. And myth number 3, floppy ears mean you're getting a calm dog. Fact? No way. A dog's personality is all about their training and socialization. It has nothing to do with their ear shape. And just when you thought basset hound ears were the longest things you'd ever seen, get this. The world record for the longest dog ears ever belongs to a bloodhound named Tigger. Are you ready for this? His right ear measured a staggering 13 3/4 inches long. That is literally longer than a ruler. So, what's the big takeaway here? Science can totally explain the how, the genetics, the history, all of it. But really, the simple, pure joy these dogs bring into our lives, well, that explains the why. It's why we love them, why we take care of them, and why we'll keep cherishing our amazing floppy-eared friends for, well, hopefully forever. So what do you think the future holds for them? And we've got to give a big shout out to Dogazilla magazine. They were the source for all the great info in this explainer. And that's a wrap for this edition of The Explainer. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, and we'll catch you next time for another deep dive.